Alright, so for my first recipe today, I'm going to be making some cheesy chicken potato skins. I've never made potato skins before, so if I do a bad job, I apologize. Over here I have, well, this is for 4 servings, but my potatoes were kind of small. I only have like 2 big ones, and this is about 2.5 pounds of potatoes. Each potato you would want to be about 9 to 10 ounces for a serving. So I'm going to bake these at 400 for about 45 minutes, and we'll see how they're doing. I did rub them with 1 teaspoon olive oil drizzled and some salt first. So my baked potatoes are done. I'm just going to let them cool so I can cut them open and scoop them out. And here it is my chicken breast. It just seems like seasoned with like rotisserie chicken seasoning, so it's going to go good with that. That I made in my Instant Pot earlier. Alright, so for my potato skins, I cut them in half and scooped out a good bit of the potato inside. And I'm going to be adding my ingredients that I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so with my potatoes, I added about a cup of shredded chicken, like packed down. I'm going to need 3/4 of a cup of cheese. This is light cheese. You can use any cheese you like. So I put half of it in here. I have 2 green onions, 2.5 ounces of light cream cheese, and 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, but you can do sour cream. I'm going to toss that together and taste it and see what it needs for seasonings. Alright, for my seasonings, I just added some parsley, some salt and pepper, onion powder. I think that's it. And I did spray my potatoes with the fake butter spray. You can just brush it with butter if you want. And I said 2.5 ounces of cream cheese, but it was 3.5 ounces of light cream cheese. And I added 1 more tablespoons of Greek yogurt, so 3 tablespoons of sour cream. I'm gonna stuff my potatoes and put some cheese on top. I thought I would have way too much stuffing, but it all fit exactly right. Well, I forgot. I also added like about half a teaspoon of ranch seasoning when I was making my mix. I did need more cheese. I'm kind of just winging it, so I wasn't sure exactly. So I added a 1/4 cup more cheese, so a cup total of cheese for this. Now I'm going to bake it at 425 for about 15 minutes. Alright, here's the potato skins right out of the oven. If you use normal full-fat cheese, it's going to look a little better than this, but I'm trying to save on the calories, so this is going to be what's for dinner tonight. And I'm going to, like a serving is a 1/4 of that, and I'm going to serve it with some veggies on the side. So for my second meal, I'm going to be meal prepping some chicken fajitas. I didn't want them spicy because my daughter is not a big fan of spice, so I made my own seasoning mix. You could definitely use like a pouch of fajita seasoning or something like that. And my little spice here, I have a tablespoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon paprika, half a teaspoon onion powder, half a teaspoon garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and I also have a teaspoon of ranch seasoning. So I sliced up 3 peppers, 2 kind of smallish green ones, and a bigger orange one. I'm going to slice up an onion also, and toss it all in a bowl with some chicken and my seasonings. And I'll be back to show you what that looks like. So my bowl is kind of small, so I'm just going to do my veggies and half the seasoning, and I did put half a tablespoon of oil in here. I'm gonna put it in my prepared pan, and then I'm gonna toss in the chicken with the rest of the seasoning and a little bit more oil, and I'll bake it all together. Alright, here's my chicken, my seasoned chicken on top of my veggies. I also am gonna add a little bit of this, if you have it, just a little bit, because I'm not sure how spicy it is, but I just want a little bit of the lime flavor. And I'm gonna bake this with my potatoes from the potato skin meal at 400 for 30-40 minutes. I'll check on it. Here's the cooked chicken fajitas. I'm gonna be eating them probably in some wraps with some cheese and maybe a little bit of chipotle sauce or something like that. But you can also make meal prep bowls with rice, salsa, cheese, beans. I'm just gonna put this in a container in the fridge and use it this week for different recipes. So today I'm gonna make a quick like creamy potato sausage kale soup. You could definitely use a can of white beans instead of the potatoes if you want, but I don't have any, so I'm just gonna make something super quick here. In my pan I have a couple of tablespoons of margarine, well, 1 tablespoon margarine, 1 tablespoon of oil, and I'm gonna be cooking a medium onion and just 1 carrot for color. And I'm also gonna need, I froze this bag of kale, there's like 2 cups in here, some garlic. This is 8 ounces of cooked ground pork. You could use Italian sausage, that'd be really good. And I'm going to use a cup of this evaporated milk. You can use half and half too if you want, or just milk. And I have 2 cups of diced potatoes here, which is about 12 ounces. And some chicken broth. I'm going to dice up my vegetables and start cooking them, and I'll be back. Alright, I burnt my onions just a little bit. I was trying to chop up my garlic and it took me a minute. And my stove is kind of insane. Even on low, it's like really high. That's okay, it's still going to taste good. But try not to burn it like I did. I'm going to toss in, I think it's like 4 or 5 cloves of garlic in here and just cook it for like 30 seconds. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour to this and whisk it. And then I don't actually have chicken broth, so I'm going to do water with the bouillon powder. I'm going to add 3 cups of that. I'll be back. Okay, here I have my 1/4 cup of flour. And I'm going to whisk in 3 cups of, you want to do chicken broth, until it thickens up. Alright, so I have, well, I cooked my flour for a little bit. By the way, I want to apologize. The reason I'm doing it like this and not, I don't have my phone pointed at me cooking is because my little stand broke. And I don't have a new one yet, so I'm kind of having to wing it and show you guys like this. So I cook my flour in my fat and my vegetables for like 30 seconds and whisked in 3 cups of liquid. I did about a tablespoon of this. I'll adjust later. And then I'm going to just cook this for a minute or 2. Alright, I'm going to add my 8 ounces of cooked, still frozen, it's seasoned ground pork. I'm just going to add this in here. And I'm adding in my 2 cups of cut up potatoes. And let me see. I think I might. I'm just going to let this cook for maybe 10-15 minutes until the potatoes are cooked through. I have it on like a simmer. And then I'll add the seasonings and my kale. Alright. Whoops. Alright. You see how fast that's boiling? That's on even lower than minimum. That's why my stuff sometimes burns. I'm going to be adding my kale. And stirring that in, cooking it a little bit, and then I'm going to add my milk. Oh, I also added another cup of broth because it wasn't enough. So 4 cups of broth. I haven't added my milk yet. I'm going to cook this for maybe 5 minutes. Okay. Now I'm going to be adding my 1 cup of evaporated milk. And for seasoning, all I did was salt, pepper, a bit of parsley, and some of this stuff. I'm out of paprika. I'm out of Italian seasoning. I would be doing those. But I'm gonna mix this up and show you what it looks like. All right, here's the soup all done. I'll show a picture of it plated up once I serve it, but it's really creamy and delicious and super quick and easy to make. So there you have it, potato, sausage, kale soup. All right, so this makes 7 cups total, about 5 servings of a cup and a half, 1.4 cups. This is a pretty big bowl. I'll post all the calories later once I have everything calculated. But there you go. So next this week for our meal prep, I'm gonna be making just like everything but the kitchen sink pasta meat sauce with just random stuff I have in my fridge that I want to use up. So I'm gonna use, I'll list all the ingredients later, but I'm gonna be using some of these tomatoes for my food pantry haul. A little bit of pasta sauce I have left. I have this sketchy looking pepper, and this is a orange pepper that froze, so it's really mushy. I'm gonna chop that up. I'm gonna put some kale, sort out the bits. There's a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna sort all that out. Some onion, some mushrooms, and some ground beef. I think I said that earlier. I'll be back once I'm set up and have some stuff chopped up. Alright, so I cooked my ground beef. I just used a little bit of my favorite seasoning here, some garlic and herb seasoning, and I added about a teaspoon of W sauce. I don't even know how to say it. And now I'm going to add some veggies. I have about 6 mushrooms. You can totally skip if you don't like that. I'm just trying to use up veggies. There's going to be a lot of veggies in this sauce. I apologize for my voice also. It's all messed up still. I have about 1 small green pepper and a small orange pepper. I threw out the most mushy part. I have about a small onion in here. I'm going to toss that in and cook that for a little bit. And then I'm going to add my kale and my garlic. Alright, so I have about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I think 4. And a big handful of chopped kale. Maybe like a cup and a half packed. I'm just going to throw that in with my cooking veggies. Alright. So here I used a can of whole tomatoes. I think it's 28 ounces. I wanted them smooth though, no chunks, so there's gonna be enough chunks with the veggies. So I use my stick blender to run that and make it smooth. I'm just gonna use the half jar I have left of this pasta sauce and put that in my veggies and let it simmer for a good while. Alright, I also added about a 1/4 cup of water in my jar to get the last of the tomatoes. So I'm just gonna let this simmer for a while, and then I'm gonna taste it to see, and then should be good to go. Alright, so my spaghetti sauce has been simmering for about an hour at least, I would say. It's all done. I tasted it and it's good. For seasonings, I added a bit of, I'm all out of Italian seasoning. I would do that, but I'm out, so I use some of this. And the garlic plus, which has no salt. And just some salt and pepper. And it's ready to go. I might make a lasagna later or just use it with pasta. But here's some super full of veggies and meat spaghetti sauce. Today I'm making some lasagna with that sauce I made the other day. You're going to need about 6 cups of spaghetti sauce, or 2 jars and a pound of beef. And you need a cup and a half of cottage cheese, an egg, 4 ounces of light cheese, and 4 ounces of regular cheese for the top. I'm using both. The regular cheese melts better, so I'm saving that for the top. And some regular noodles. So here I'm mixing my cottage cheese with some seasonings and my egg. And you want really, I know cottage cheese sounds gross, but once it's all cooked, it kind of gets melty and it's good. Here it is all mixed up. So now I'm going to be doing about a cup and a half of a sauce to the bottom of my pan. And you can just use straight up regular noodles. It doesn't need to be boiled before. It doesn't need to be the oven ready noodles, just basic plain old regular lasagna noodles. So here I'm layering my sauce at the bottom. You just need a little bit. And see, that's what I'm using, regular lasagna noodles. I found it's so much easier. It took me all these years to realize I could just use regular noodles. You just add a little bit of water to your pan. Excuse me. Before baking, you'll see. So you need 9 noodles. So I'm gonna put my 3 noodles here, and I'm gonna be adding half my cottage cheese mixture on top. You could use ricotta cheese. I'm trying to get more protein, save on calories. And then I'm gonna add another cup and a half of sauce on top of that. Apologize for the background noises. My cat is scratching at papers. My ice machine's going. And my throat's all messed up. Still fighting off some virus or something. So I'm spreading my sauce on top. And then I'll be repeating the layers. I'm adding my 3 more noodles on top. I'm sorry about my pan. Kind of looks a little gross. It's clean, but no amount of scrubbing is getting rid of that baked on stuff. All right, so another layer of cheese, another cup and a half of sauce. Yeah, I had people making noise in my house, so I had to mute the video. And I don't like doing the voiceovers, but hey, that's what we got today. Some more sauce on the top. Yeah, my whole batch of spaghetti sauce made like 6.5 cups, and I ended up not using the entire thing, so you're gonna need about 6 cups, which is 2 jars is about 5 cups plus like the beef. It's about 6 cups. I had like a little extra piece of noodle in my box, so I put that in. Adding my... And lasagna is usually pretty high in calories, but for 1/6 of this pan, which is the big 9x13 pans, makes so it makes 6 servings, and 1 serving is about 40 calories, which is really not bad at all for cheesy lasagna. I'm gonna be topping with another cup and a half of sauce on top. And this was a very full of vegetable sauce, so it kind of got a little watery in the end, but it still turned out really, really good. Would make that anytime, even if it was a tiny bit watery. You'll see once I plate it. And so just making sure all the noodles are covered, because they're still raw noodles. You want to make sure they all got a bit of sauce on them. So you're going to be adding 1/4 cup of water around your pan, and you're going to seal this really well with a piece of foil, so that it's the moisture. The noodles kind of need the moisture to cook, but they come out perfectly al dente.
They're not undercooked. They're not overcooked. It's perfect. So my 4 ounces of regular cheese on top. And then I'm going to bake this. I forget exactly. I'll write it down in the recipe. I forget exactly.
Right, so I covered it in foil, baked it at 350 for 50 minutes, and then you'll let it rest for about 10 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Perfect. Awesome lasagna.